All right, let me ask a question real quick. How many people had a birthday this week in this room? So raise your hands. All right, all right. All right, Lori, where are you going? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. All right, birthday people, come on up here. Where's these birthday people? Come on. All right, I saw some hands. I saw some hands. All right, we got birthdays. Who else had a birthday this week? I saw hands. Do you have a birthday? Yeah, come on. Oh, come on up here. You gotta go up on the platform. Wow. We come to an event like this, we talk about life, and yet we started off singing happy birthday. Could there be anything more appropriate than having a birthday? Isn't that cool? Nothing comes in, nothing stops that little bitty stick of dynamite. That little lady, I'll tell you what, when God lays something on her heart and she claims it, it's going to happen. Because she doesn't have 1 ounce of doubt in her body. The word no does not exist. Maybe does not exist. She says, Philip, here's what we're going to do. And wow, isn't it neat to have leaders like that? Leaders just like that. Special people in our lives. You know, think about Lori. What if Lori had never been born? None of you would be here tonight. If Lori had never been born, if God had never planted that seed in her, and we talk about seed, let's talk about the smallest seed. What's the smallest you could think of? Isn't it a mustard seed? The smallest thing. And isn't that how life starts in the womb? Small as a mustard seed or smaller. And then it begins to grow and expand. Think of what would happen if Lori did not exist and we were not here tonight. Special people in our lives. I've got a special guy in my life. His name is Chad Armstrong. Now, I met Chad Armstrong January the 15th, 2008. I'd moved to Kansas City. When I moved back to Dallas on that day, I went out to a place to have dinner that night. As I went to dinner, I met this guy, and he was a cool guy. He was a tall guy, cowboy, real nice looking guy, 6'2". He loved to ride motorcycles. Now me, I love riding motorcycles too. So we hit it off. It's like we'd known each other all of our lives. And as I got to know Chad, it was kind of neat. He said, hey, why don't you come ride motorcycles with us? We're going out this weekend. I said, okay. Saturday morning we get up, we go ride motorcycles. I said, wow, I had a blast. These guys are really neat. Really liked them. Pretty cool. We got to be very good friends. But I have to tell you a story. I want to fast forward real quick. In June of this same year of 2008, I got a call from Chad. Chad, through the course of 3, 4, 5 months, would call me late at night when I'm on my motorcycle riding home, be freezing rain, almost home, driving 30 miles. My phone would buzz in my pocket. I'd pull over on the motorcycle on the side of the road, answer the phone and say, hey, buddy, it's Chad. I said, yeah, Chad. You may want to talk. I said, yeah, what you want to talk about? You want to turn around and come back here to Starbucks? What Starbucks you want to go to? Did I want to turn around? No, I didn't want to turn around. But you know what I did? Turned around, drove back 30 miles in the freezing cold in the motorcycle and go sit there. Chad said, well, didn't want to bring it up in front of my friends, but thinking about this God thing. You know what? That happened 3 or 4 or 5 times. And in June, I met him in January the 15th. In June, I got a phone call from Chad. He said, hey, Chad, hey, Philip, how you doing? I said, doing good, Chad, what's up? Hey, brother, I become a Christian last night. Special people that God puts in our lives. Totally unexpected. I meet this guy, start having fun with him riding motorcycles. We become friends, and I get the privilege of leading him to Christ. Even though I'm not there when he accepts Christ, I got to be one of those tools, one of those seed planters. I want to tell you how instrumental Chad was in my life. I want to show you more. November 9th, 2008. I had a severe motorcycle accident. As I was riding my motorcycle, a young lady was texting and driving. When she answered, she decided to make a turn. When she made a turn, she thought she'd outrun traffic. Well, I was one of the guys she was trying to outrun. Didn't happen. Well, in just a matter of a second, bam, my life changed in a moment, the twinkle of an eye. You know, I got up that morning fully expecting to make it home that night, but I didn't make it home for a long time. For a long time, I did not make it home. But I told you about special people. Remember, that's how I started this out? Chad being a special guy. As I lay on that ice-cold concrete in November, my body was destroyed. My back broke. My colon burst. You know what's in the colon? My spleen had burst. All these ribs on this side were broke. My body literally burst open from here to there. Literally. 27 breaks from here all the way down to my toes. My femur, you know what the femur bone is, right? Right up here in this area here. It snapped. And when the femur bone snapped, this part turned sideways and came through the meat of my leg that way. Well, I don't want to be graphic, but I want to tell you the truth. My femur bone right up going through my groin all the way up to here. Laying there on that ice-cold concrete. Chad had been out driving his Jeep. And as Chad was driving his Jeep, he saw there was an accident. And he looked up there, he said, wow, biker down, biker down. Let me go up there and see what's going on. I see a biker up there. So he's in his Jeep. So he drives up over the barriers, over all the grass to come over there and see the biker. As he got closer, he saw my jacket. On my bit of jacket, he saw my patches. On my patches, he said, oh my God, that's Philip. Slammed his Jeep in park, jumped out, come running. I was laying there, I couldn't hardly move. As I was laying there, I saw these little red veins going out in the concrete. It was my blood. I was bleeding out. I was dying. And I knew I was dying. But Chad was the first person on the scene. How neat is that? Talk about providence. You know what providence is? God's providence is pro-video. God knows what's going to happen in the future. What if Chad had never been born? We always think about the things we see, and we look at success, and we measure our success in dollars, don't we? We measure them in the size of our house, in the type of a car that we drive, and in our clothes, and in our demeanor, and how we walk, and how we talk. But you know what success is? Success is living a life of significance. You know what significance is? Significance is when you're living a life of purpose and a life of passion. And you've got your eyes fixed on something and you've got to go and you're working for that. And as you're working for the significance of when you leave here and you leave that legacy, you're becoming successful. Wow. The type of leaders that we've got. And I look here in Austin, Texas. I get the privilege to come from Dallas to come here to see you guys and see the fruits of the labor. You know, there's over 10,000 babies who have been born in the last 25 years because of her ministry. 10,000 babies born in 25 years. I kind of tell you, you see that my life, you see I went through a lot of pain with my leg and through my accident. I was in the hospital a long time. You can see my pain, it's a visible pain, right? You can identify with this, right? Can I tell you a pain that I've carried for many, many years? March 27th, 1978. I murdered my own child. I drove her to the doctor. I was thinking we were going for a checkup. Didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know she was pregnant. Her mom was there, other people. We go to the doctor. 4 hours later, I didn't understand why they were so long in there. 4 hours later, she gets in the car crying. We drive from Corpus Christi back to Kingsville. She was crying, sobbing. I didn't know what was going on. The pain, the shame, and the guilt that I carried, I have now carried for 36 years. You know, I became a Christian when I was 39 years old. That was 16 years ago. And God forgave me. And I felt that forgiveness, and I felt that grace, and I felt that mercy. But still, I felt that guilt. Do you know why? I knew that I had murdered someone. I knew I'd murdered my child. But you know what? I didn't get anything from society. Society didn't say, Philip, you were wrong. I knew there was a price that I had to pay because I knew I had messed up. I knew that I was part of something, and I took my own child's life. Society didn't do anything. I felt bad. There was nothing way. I couldn't pay for it. The police didn't come to my house. They didn't come arrest me for murder. I couldn't pay my debt. So you live with that because as men, we know there's a price that we have to pay. And we know right, we know there's wrong, we know there's mercy, we know there's grace, but we also know there's justice. But for me, there was no justice served for many years. Meeting Lori DeVillis has changed my life. I met her last November. This is the first time publicly I've ever told anyone that story. And I called the young lady, been talking to her back and forth, the lady who had the abortion. She was going to be here tonight. Little apprehension, little fear. What are we going to think of her? Would we shame her? She decided not to come, but she knows she's forgiven. But still, we carry that thought of what we've done. But you know what my passion is now? How can I take what I've done wrong and the mercy and the grace that I have been given and the forgiveness, how can I use that to touch other people's lives? While I was in the hospital, I was there for a long, long time. I finally got well, went back to work. Been at work for a little while. I'd been in a wheelchair for a long time. They had my office set up for a wheelchair because I was disabled. Well, all of a sudden I got this new leg, and I had to learn how to use this new leg. So as I was learning how to do the new leg, I was not doing very well at all. I used a walker a lot. And I come out of my office door one day at the office, and as I'm looking at straight ahead, there's a plate glass door of my office. And I'm looking at the door, there's a cute little girl, blonde-headed little girl, about 4 years old. And right behind her is her brother. He's got a little figurine doll in his hand. Behind him is Mom and Grandma. They open the little white plate glass door, come right on in. That little girl, her eyes got big as saucers. She looked at my legs, she looked at me, she looked back at Mom, and she ran. She took 3 steps, and she jumped, and she dove, and she landed right in front of my leg. She grabbed this pole, she started shaking it back and forth, says, Mommy, look, it's the transformer. Well, her little brother, he was wise. He told me later he was the big brother. Told me he's 7 years old, he's the big brother. He had his little figurine doll, his hero. He's he's a Terminator. God spoke to me that day through a 4-year-old little girl with blonde hair and pigtails. Philip, your body is broken, you're beat up, you're torn. You've been through a lot of things in your life. Do you want to be a transformer? Or do you want to be a terminator? Do you want to transform your own life and use these experiences to encourage other people? To even take care of your own life? Or Philip, do you want to terminate your own hopes, dreams, goals, and ambitions? What do you want to do? All in a matter of seconds, I chose life. I chose to be a transformer. So in being a transformer, that's why I'm here today. I want to talk to you about transforming. By the way, my lovely wife, I call her my bride, Erica is here. I never told her till about February or March. Secrets, those secret sins, those secret things we're ashamed of and the guilt. But you know what? Redemption, when we're forgiven. And what God can take and do and transform our lives. You see the physical pain. You didn't see all the other pain I'd carried for 36 years. Now, I was a very successful businessman. Very blessed in life, very blessed in business. Got the privilege of being Zig Ziglar's backup Sunday school teacher at Prestonwood. That was awesome. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going to Sunday school class, 4, 5, 6, 700 people, and you're Zig's backup teacher? Now that's cool. In 1993, I met this guy, Zig Ziglar, and when I met him in 1993, he planted a seed, a hope, a seed of peace. When he planted that seed and began to share little things with me, never opened the Bible, never quoted a scripture, just began to talk the talk Zig talks. You know how Zig talks. He's got the Yazoo, Mississippi slang. And 5 years later, I accepted Christ. I was 39 years old. That's amazing within itself that a 39-year-old man is going to give his life to Christ. We don't always get to choose the battles we have. We live by other people's choices. My child is in heaven today, 36 years old, living by my choice. And I think about my child. Is it a boy or is it a girl? What is it? It's been 36 years. If it's a boy, wow. And I get to heaven, and he says, Dad, you didn't play pitch with me. What if I have a little girl, and she says, you never took me to piano recital? You never danced with me at my wedding. What's it going to be like when I get to heaven? Because of the grace of God, do you know what's going to happen when I get to heaven? I already know. It's providence. It's provideo. I've read the end of the book. It's in Revelation. He wins, and I win. As Zig Ziglar says, I've done the math. You're going to be dead a whole lot longer than you're going to be alive. But here's what I think is going to happen when I get there. I talked to Lisa yesterday, that's her name. I said, Lisa, did you ever feel it was going to be a girl or boy? Oh, undoubtedly, it was going to be a girl. How do you know? I just know. How do you know? Philip, I just feel it in my heart. It was going to be a girl. No way we would have known at that point in time. She was at that line. Matter of fact, from what I understand, it was the last day she could do it. I said, you know what? I heard Julie Ziegler talk the other day, and she talked about having those two children when she had an abortion. Did she share that with you last year? But did she share you that she named them? I listened to Julie last Thursday, and I've listened to Julie many times tell the same story. And I'm sitting in the back of the room at the Ziegler office while she's standing up there talking to another group of Ziegler certified speakers, and I bawled like a baby. She said, I named my babies. One I knew was going to be a boy. I gave him a boy's name. One I knew was going to be a girl. I gave her a girl's name. And I bought stones, and I erected those stones. So I know where my babies are, but I know they're also in heaven. All of my adult life, I always wanted a little girl. Now, I had a boy, I had a son. He grew up, he's 32 years old now. He always asked me, he said, Dad, why didn't I ever have any sisters, brothers, or anything? I don't know. Never had them. Why didn't he have them? I made a choice that impacted my son 7 years later. Always felt that longing for that other sibling. Always knew that there was supposed to be another connection, but he never had that connection. So I asked Lisa, let me finish telling you this part first. All my adult life, I had this name picked out. I decided that if I ever had a little girl, I was going to name her either Brittany Nicole or Brittany Renee. Hey, that's cool, isn't it? I heard somebody say something. Isn't that pretty? Hey, I'm a guy. You got to say, hey, that was pretty good, wasn't it? There you go. Brittany Nicole or Brittany Renee. And I asked Lisa yesterday, I said, Lisa, have you thought of a name? She said, absolutely. I've had her name for years. Really? What is it? Tiffany Nicole. The providence of God, the healing of God, and what he was doing with her. As men, I want to make a commission to you. I see a lot of men here. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for the difference you've made. Because you people here have touched my life in the last year. Had you not been doing this the last 10 years with Lori, I would have never met Lori. My life would not be impacted. I would not have gone through some of the healing I've done. All because God did what he does. Men, boys, young men, I see some young men here. Guys, I'm going to ask you something. We need to stand up, and we need to stand tall, and we need to stand firm, and we need to get more engaged. You know what? We see things happen. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. I'm not going to ask you to stand up. How many of you men or boys or guys have ever taken part and helped someone else have an abortion? Don't embarrass yourself. Do you know that's the most freeing thing I can do? First time On this stage, I get to say that. Now, they may be right. I may have just committed speaker suicide. No, someone may not hire me, because in the corporate world, when you get on divisive issues, you can't speak to some audiences. Because if you're pro-gay or you're not gay, you're in trouble. If you're pro-abortion, not abortion, you're in trouble. You know what? But God called us to take a stand. I was in the hospital after I had my leg amputated. Been quite a while. Doctor come in, had a new doctor come in, had his notepad. He's sitting at the foot of my bed. He's got his pad looking at me. He says, Mr. Hatfield, how tall are you? I'd say about 5'10". I looked down and said, well, on the right leg, I'm 5'6". On the left, I'm 4'2". No matter which side I stand on, I can stand firm, and I can stand solid, and I can make a decision. And I can be a transformer. I can transform my life. I can transform those lives around me. All I can do is deliver the message. When you drive around Dallas, we see these signs that says, stop. Big stop sign, stop. Stop abortion. Stop. Guys, we want to stop abortion. How did Jesus do stuff? In love and in humility and in caring. We've got to go back to loving and how we're going to take our message forward. We've alienated people because we've bothered. Stop. Yes, we want to stop it. They know our conviction. They know where we are. How can we do it? In love. Guys, I want to tell every one of you young people here, do you know you're born to win? Do you know you are born to win, whether you're 55 years old or 95 years old? Do you know you are born to win? But in order to win, you have to plan to win. You got to prepare to win. And when you plan and prepared, then and only then can you expect to win. For 10 years, you guys have been planning. For 10 years, you've been preparing. You've made a lot of headway, but I think God's about to do an explosion in this room with these people here tonight. I think God's going to lay something on some of you guys' hearts to get even more involved in what you're doing. Men, guys, number one, pay your tithes at your local church. Support your local church first and foremost. Take care of your local church. Be involved. But men, you want a local ministry? You want to get mission field right here in Austin? You get more involved in this one. As Zig says, I'm not retired, I'm refired. Guys, if you're retired, get refired. Get in here. We need you to be counselors. We need you to be mentors. I knew it's something I had to do to share that with you. To share with you that I murdered my own child, but I'm forgiven. And the redemption is so wonderful. Men and ladies, I want to ask you to do something. I want you to commit to a 1-year campaign of taking the stop out of your vocabulary. Let's talk about being born to win. I'm going to ask you to start talking about the positives, and let's share the good things about it. What's the first thing you did when your child was born? Oh, you picked him up, and you counted all the fingers on this hand, and you counted the fingers on this hand, and then you looked down and you started counting those little toes. This little piggy went to the market. Come on, tell me, did you do that? And did you count all the toes from the other one? And you're so perfect. Oh, you're just wonderful. You're the most perfect thing. I love you so much. And for 2 years, you hear how wonderful you are. But then at 2 years old, this pen means an awful lot to me. I got this at the Zig Ziglar office. You know what it says? Anybody want to take a guess? Come on back in the room. Can't you read it? It says, born to win. Say that with me, born to win. Born to win. Say, I am born to win. We are born to win. We want more babies born. Tell me, come on. Wake up. That's the purpose. Lori, I don't usually do something like this for a woman. I'm going to put this on you. Come up here. I want you to take my Born to Win pen I got from the Ziglar Corporation. And I want you to take this pen. I want you to wear it every day. Will you wear this?
I will.
When you go to church, when you're out in public, will you wear this?
I will.
And when people ask you what this means, do you have any idea what you're going to say?
I'm born to win.
You're what?
Born to win.
Can they hear you?
I'm born to win.
Born to win. Guys, we've got to take this negative message and start putting it positive. Put it in your own words. Men, stand up. If you've been through the fire, stand up. Say, I am delivered. And I have a message. I can help. There's a reason I went through this. There's a reason this happened to me. This is the physical tool that God gave me here. That's the physical tool God gave me to open the doors. But God gave me another tool that whenever I come across people with abortion and stuff like that I can impact them. Where's Dr. Woodall? Come up here, Dr. Woodall. You're in trouble too. Dr. Woodall, do you want to be born to win?
Yes.
Yes. Will you help us the next year? Tell people what that pen means.
Yes.
Penning.
All right, Dr. Woodall, you are born to win.
Oh, but y'all think we're done, don't you? Oh, we're not done. We're almost there. You guys can sit down. They're going to lead a charge. All right. How many table leaders do we have? Raise your hand if you're a table leader, or stand up if you're a table leader. Stand up. All right. Stand up if you're a table leader. Now, if you are at a table that does not have a table leader, listen to me real close. Point straight up in the air. You're at a table that does not have a table leader. Everybody point up in the air. Everybody point till you all agree on who that table leader is. Now, all table leaders stand. I need one person at every table to stand. All right, do I have one person at every table who's a table leader? All right, so we know who the table leaders are, right? I'm going to ask all of you to stand now. I'm going to ask each one of you to turn to your right. Now, you'll be facing the back of somebody's ugly bald head. Table leader. Table leaders. At your table is an envelope. Reach inside that big white envelope and pull out that little bag. All right? Everybody got your little bag? Each one of you have a Born to Win pen. Table leaders, you should have someone facing you. I want you to face that person and pin them. I want the next person to turn around, pin behind them till we get all the way around the table. Ask them, are you born to win? The pen you just received is a free gift. And what do you do with a free gift? Somebody said thank you. That was cool. You take it and you say thank you. Guys, you got a pen that says Born to Win. What I'm going to ask you to do, wear it. Wear it to church. Wear it in public. When people ask you, what does that mean? And by the way, I got another one. Are you Miss Woodall? I don't know who you are, but she just pinned one on me. I got my back. I lost my Ziegler pen, but I got another one. I want you to explain to people what Born to Win is. We want more babies born. We want more families put together, put back together and put together. For the next year, I want you to wear that as much as you possibly can. Okay? But as much as you can, please wear that Born to Win pin and let people know that you're supporting the Austin Pregnancy Resource Center. Let them know why. Let them know there are babies that need to be born. I have a child in heaven, and her name is Tiffany Nicole. And when I get up there and I see Tiffany, you know what I think she's going to say? Dad, let me introduce you to my father. We need more fathers. We need more dads. Would you please commit? I'm going to ask you. I did the numbers. You know, I'm like Zig. I do the math. I did the math. There's about 600 people in this room. Out of 600 people in the room, your whole budget for the whole year is $370,000. By the way, Lori don't make hardly anything. If you had any idea, it'd knock your socks off. By the way, and I only have one. You know, that's the good thing. You know, when you go to the dryer, there's only one sock in there, you know that was for you. What it is, men, please get involved. Please, in your church, go to the Austin Pregnancy Resource Center. Find something to get involved in. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but I'm going to ask you, will you commit? Who will serve on the building payoff committee? We got a building we got to pay off. It's the only debt you got. Only one debt. Who will serve? Guys, volunteer. I'm not asking you to stand up and raise your hand right now. Let God tell you what to do. Because when God is in the middle of it, it's going to work. There's a lot of people, a lot of wisdom in here about business, finance, mortgage, your husband, your aunt, your cousin, your uncle. You know somebody that can help. Will you